So what can we do as firefighters to help prevent the spread of poison oak? Well, it's important for us to remember that the oil aerosol can be transmitted, amongst other things, by tools, your shoes or boots, clothing, and even animals. And the oil can remain on these objects for months. So what can we do as firefighters to help stop the spread? Well, let's go back for a few minutes to the fire station and discuss this in detail. There are many myths and wise tales about ways to prevent poison oak or to cure it. Most of the old wives' tales they have found have no merit. There are some that do. We'd like to talk about some of the preventative measures that will help reduce the chance of you getting poison oak after a wildland fire. Myth: you cannot catch poison oak by standing next to the plant. The oil is too heavy to be vaporized and to catch it that way. People ask many times about the immune systems or the immune series that you can get from a doctor, and does it work? Well, the answer is on some people it does help, and on others it does not. This product I'm holding here is an oral immune system, and like the vaccination variety, it is taken in a series over a matter of weeks to reduce the sensitivity to poison oak. It is a fact that the American Indians did eat poison oak, would take little bits of poison oak on a periodic basis to increase their ability not to get poison oak. Much the same principle of the product that I'm holding here that a doctor will prescribe to you. There's some other myths that I think need to be talked about briefly. Washing with gasoline, ammonia, gunpowder, these are all things that have been done in the past. There's been some pretty radical things done. Washing in horse urine was one thing that was done in years past. Now, with the exception of some firefighters I saw at a party one night, I know of nobody that does that anymore, so don't try it. But there are some common sense things that we can do to prevent the spread of poison oak. And at this time, we'd like to walk around the station here and go over those things with you. As soon as they get back from the wildland fire, is give the tools a good cleaning. This is important after your tools have come in contact with poison oak to remove the oils off the head and off the handle. Plus, as we know, it's always a good idea to clean your tools, to do a visual inspection to make sure that they have not been damaged in the process of firefighting. And besides the tools, we also, if you've made contact with poison oak and you are sensitive or work with people who are, it's not a bad idea to clean your boots. Now, we know after a wildland fire we always take a hose and squirt off the soot and things, so we get water on our boots as it is. So if you've made contact, go ahead and scrub them down good and just go ahead and rinse them off. That'll get the soot off and at the same time remove the aerosol. After we've got the apparatus and the equipment and tools back in order, the next series of events is to have the firefighter go into the barracks or quarters and sit down and relax for a few. But there's some things we need to take in consideration for that too, if for nothing else, for the people we work with. Now, as Dave takes a minute here and catches his breath and relaxes and has a drink of water, there's something wrong with this picture. What's wrong with this picture is this. Dave has just come in contact with poison oak while in the course of firefighting, and the aerosol oil is on his turnouts and on his helmet and on his gloves. And as he gets up to go do something and somebody else sits down in his place, somebody who might be very sensitive to poison oak, they can get a reaction. And that's not being very considerate of our fellow workers. What we can do to also help prevent the spread of poison oak, something we don't do nearly enough as firefighters, is wash our turnouts. If you've been exposed on a prolonged basis, or if you're very sensitive, you can go ahead and wash your turnouts. And notice how he took that top off. That's to prevent him touching the outside of his turnouts. He's also removing his gloves by using the outside of his turnouts. And when he removes the bottom part of his grass gear, he'll go ahead and place his hands in the inside of it, keeping away from the oil. These are just things that will help reduce the possibility of getting poison oak in a reaction to it. Last but not least, after being exposed to poison oak while fighting a wildland fire, we need to remember to shower well. We need to use a good abrasive soap. Some people claim that lava works well. There are some commercial products out there that supposedly do a good job. At any rate, you need to shower with warm water. It's controversial in some circles to whether we should use hot water opposed to warm. The hot water, some people believe, will open up the pores and allow the oil to get down into the skin. At any rate, you need at least warm water so we can break down the oils as we shower. You need to scrub real well and be sure you do a good job in there. We've looked over what poison oak is, how it affects the body, some statistics involving poison oak, how to identify it, and some preventative measures to reduce the possibility of catching poison oak. One final note, nothing is foolproof, and you may take all these precautions and still continue to catch it, but they will help to minimize the chances of catching poison oak. So once again, we hope you've benefited from this, and so be sure and take care and be careful out there.